Okay, so we are ready to begin. We have, when you first sign up, you might get a similar list of categories in a slightly different looking box, but you'll see in there an entertainment section, or it might come to here if you've already created an account and yet have to make a site. Within the entertainment section, you'll see the actors in theater. You'll go ahead and click on that. Again, you can choose any template that you want within here or within any other section. Just know that this one is a little bit more catered towards actors from the onset. So some of the information that's here, some of the headers and content is kind of ready to go. Once you feel more comfortable, feel free to choose any format that you want here, a template rather. So we're going to choose this Brian Blunt template, and we're going to take a quick view of it. And in here you can see this is our home page. There's a biography page that looks more like a resume page. We are actually going to change the header name of this to resume and do editing on that. The gallery is separated into headshots and production stills, which I think is a good idea. Then you have a demo reel. Now, the one that we're going to be setting up doesn't have a demo reel, but you'll see that there's a YouTube video that's here. And, you can go ahead and play it straight from here. And it's just embedded content. We'll show you how easy it is to go ahead and edit that if you want to have a real page. There's also a contact page here. And so with this, we're going to jump right in. We're going to start with a home page, and you'll also see up here in the top left-hand corner, there is a mobile view of this site, so you can see real-time what your edits look like on a mobile view, including the menu option here. So we're going to go back to the desktop view, and then we're going to go ahead and click on Edit This Site. Editor takes a moment to load. We're going to dive right in. Now, we have some content that we prepared ahead of time, just like we spoke about. I've got 7 images here that all are in the style that we spoke about from a naming convention standpoint, with all lowercase letters, with the hyphens between words. And then I've got 2 text files. One is a filmography text document, and this one is a you'll see that it is HTML, and there is a table set up here, separated into sections. There's a film section. There's also a theater section in this, as well as a training section and special skills. Now you can change these headers to whatever you want. You can also copy and paste rows as you see fit for formatting. And it's probably the trickier part of this if you've never dealt with HTML, but I'm hoping that you'll see patterns here and be able to make those edits as necessary. And again, if you don't need all the rows, you can always delete whatever you need. And this template will always be available for you to start over if you need to. You'll also see that there's just a plain text version of what that table says, and that is going to be necessary for the mobile version of this site. We'll get into that in a little bit and show you how you're going to have to deal. It's really the only piece of this you really have to finagle with. The rest of it's pretty straightforward. Now in this links and bio section, I have a few things. We have IMDb link, actor access, now casting, your agent profile if you have one, your Facebook page, Twitter, and then I have some other information that we're going to use in other areas that have to do with the person's physical information as well as their agent's contact information. Some of it is place fillers. You can put whatever information you want wherever you see fit, but this is just how we've chosen to fill up this site. The bio is separated into paragraphs, and we're going to be able to copy and paste that right into the biography section. So let's get into it. I'm going to edit the home page. The nice part about this is that you can come over here and select how you want to edit your pages, and then over here there's always the page settings. When I click on the page settings, a couple things. The page name is what you see up in the headers, and then the page address is what's going to be in the URL. So home is fine, I think, for your home page. And I think that it's important also to keep in mind your page name really should match up with the page address name. So keep that in mind. Keep it simple. The SEO page settings, we're going to go ahead and enter this information. So that'll be what you see in the, this is what you see up in the tabs here, where it says Wix HTML editor. Same thing here. We're going to see Michael Guajardo. I can spell it. Say actor, Albuquerque, New Mexico. And for right now, we're going to say that that's done. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to close this just to give us a little cleaner space to work with. I'm going to show you. You can click on content here. I'm going to, the text, this over here, you can go ahead and click edit text. You can get rid of this. The same menu comes up here, which I like to work with a little bit more. But you can click on this to bring up a menu. If you want to edit something, you can double click on it. You click on the outside of it to close that edit session. But we're going to go ahead, we're going to edit this text. I'm going to come in, I'm going to select it. I'm going to just replace this information, click on the outside. Michael is in Albuquerque, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to replace this with the proper spelling of Albuquerque and click on the outside. IMDb, we know that we have that in our link section in that text document. So I don't want to change the image or anything. I just want to change to where it's linking. So I click on link to, and it's just waiting for the rest of that information. I'm going to click on that. Here's our IMDb. I'm just going to copy that whole link, copy it. I'm going to come in here, paste it. Now I want it to open in a new window. Anytime that you send somebody to an external site, you're always going to want to send them into a new window so that when they close it, once again, they're right back onto your site. So we'll keep going here. So click OK. This is your header. It's going to be the same on every single page. I'm going to do the same thing for the footer. So we come down to the footer. We're going to go ahead and edit this. Okay, we don't necessarily need the created with Wix.com. Wix will put their own stuff in automatically, so we can get rid of that. We'll put year. We'll change this to Michael's name. We're going to come over here to the social media icons. We're going to come to settings, and it's going to say organize icons. You can see there you can change the spacing of them, you can change the size of them. We're not going to mess around with that. You can mess around with that. So right now we're going to, so we see that Twitter selected. We're going to come back to Michael's document. We're going to see that he's got his Twitter information here. And I'm going to just go right ahead and click on that. Again, paste right over it. We are sending them again to an external site. We want it to open in a new window, which is defaulted to that. So we're just going to click OK. I'm going to click on the Facebook icon, all right? Then I'm going to come back again to his Facebook, this text document that we've prepared ahead of time to our Facebook page. We're going to go in here, click on that, replace the link with our Facebook, again, open it in a new window. Going to select OK, click OK, and go ahead and close that out. Now, it's always good, it's a good idea to save your content as often as possible, as long as you feel comfortable with what you've done thus far, and go ahead and click save. It's going to say, all right, it's time to save your work. What do you want to name it? Well, the header part here will be able to change at another time, but the main thing is the site name, and I really suggest that you just use your name. So that's what we're going to do, because search engine optimization will pick that up. So we'll go ahead and save that. And it's telling you it's not published yet. And that's fine. There's a publish button up here that we can do when we're ready. For right now, just click OK. And what I like to do is go ahead and preview it and make sure that certain things work. So when I go and click on this, it goes to his site. You can see it open in a new tab. It's exactly what we want it to do. You can see that information is there. Twitter, we can see, it opens up to his information. Again, new. And then when it goes to my site, go ahead, that's a new one. So we've successfully done everything that we wanted to do so far. We're going to go back to the editor here. Like we said, the page order we're going to change a couple things. Biography looked like a resume, so we're actually going to change that. We're going to click on the page settings, and we are going to change that to resume because that's what it looks like, and I'm going to call it resume. I'm going to change the SEO settings to Michael Guajardo, resume, actor, Albuquerque, Mexico. Okay, so that's done. And what I want to do is I want the biography still going to be, and the reel was what we're going to use as the biography page. So I'm going to hover over the grid here, and you'll see the movement thing. If I click on that, I can drag it above and put it between home and resume. And I'm going to go ahead, come to the settings again, page settings. I'm going to change this to biography. I'm going to change the page address for the same thing. I'm going to come to our page title. Notice that I am being consistent in how I do my SEO. Again, it's just something that's clean. And the point is that when you go from page to page, all of your content only changes by the content that has changed. It's still the same person. He's still located in the same place. His profession is the same. So I'm just looking for those little subtle changes. And so, if you feel more comfortable, you can copy this to a text document. That way you can just keep copying and pasting it if you want to make sure the format is the same every single time without having to worry about it too much. And hit done on this. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and edit the biography page. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to exit out of this. We're already in the biography page, right? So I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to a couple things. I'm going to edit the text, and I want it to simply be biography, and I'm going to go ahead and put Michael's name again here. I'm going to put his location. Again, all good for SEO, and if it's not really cluttering anything up. I resized the window because I just want it all on one level. It's up to you. If you want to use the whole width here, that's completely up to you. Go for it. Everything within this grid line is typically safe in all browsers and resolutions. So feel free to work within that space. I'm not going to worry about formatting that stuff too much. I'll focus on getting the content up there. You guys can make it pretty. So I'm just going to show you real quick before I remove this. You can just click on the YouTube, and if you go into settings, you can see you can go ahead and just put your YouTube link right there, and it'll automatically embed it. Same thing with a Vimeo link. It'll automatically embed it. It's got a nice feature there. And you can always add that content by coming over here to add, and you can go ahead and add media, and it'll do the same, give you the same option. So right now we don't want this, so I'm gonna just highlight it, go ahead, delete it, it's gone. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to slide down here, and I'm going to click on this and see it's just a text box. So I'm going to go ahead and slide it up here where I want it to be, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and double click in there. And this is where I want to actually put my biography. So I'm going to go ahead into here, this text document we have prepared ahead of time, and I'm just going to select the entire biography, 2 paragraphs, copy that, and then I'm going to go ahead and here select all of this, and I'm just going to go ahead and paste it. And you can format it however you want. You can change the height of everything. You can, span things out however you see fit. I'm just going to keep inside this, basic little box right here. Something else that, what we're doing is we're seeing there's not like a lot of content here. So, if you want to add other content, you can go ahead and do it. If you want to add a gallery just to, eat up some space and give them another opportunity to see who you are and relate your face to that, go for it. Here I'm just deciding I'm going to go ahead and put a grid in. And so what we're going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and edit the gallery. I'm going to organize my images. So if I click on that, I go to organize images. And the first time you do this, we're going to do two things. One, I don't need any of these images, so I'm pretty sure I can select all of them. Maybe not. I think I have to delete, unfortunately, I think you have to delete them one by one. But at least it's not horribly cumbersome. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add images. I want to add them from the gallery that we have. Okay, so a couple things. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to upload those images. So you're going to go and upload all of these. And once you've selected them and hit open, it's going to load them into here. And I've already pre-loaded these. At that point, you can decide which images you want in your gallery. So for right now, I'm just going to select all of them and hit Add Images. And when you go into each of these images, this information that's on the right-hand side for each of them is what's going to be there when you hover above it, and then what you click on it. So, you're going to want to change this information. You can go ahead and just get rid of it if you don't want any of that information to come up there. But if you want somebody to know what role you were in, etc., you can go ahead and put that information in the title and within the description. And for right now, I'm not going to put anything, but at this point, you can see it's sitting on top of that. We need to move it around so it's a little cleaner. I'm going to go ahead and line that up like that. There's our little gallery. Maybe I would change it to 6 pictures just to keep it within a couple rows. I want to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and save that for right now. But if I go ahead and preview this, okay, you'll see when I hover over it how the name of the file comes up. And so that might not be exactly what I want. So and again, that information shows up down here. Again, your description would also show up down here. So again, another opportunity to display the work that you have been in. So I'm going to go back to the editor. I know there was something I forgot to do on the homepage. We can go ahead and do that now. So I'm going to go back to Pages, and I'm going to go back to the homepage. And as much as we like our buddy here, that's not Michael. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to organize the images on this gallery. We're going to get rid of Ryan Blunt, and we're going to go ahead and add images. I only want to add one image to this slideshow. I just want it to be this one main image. So I'm going to go ahead and select that, and again, you'll want to every page that you go ahead and put this information, these images on, you'll always have the opportunity to put a title and put a description. There isn't a master title and master description for your items, specifically because you may want that content different on every page. So you can go ahead and hit done here, and hopefully it will. Oh, let's see here. Let's go save that. Let's see here. And we'll go back to the editor. Something didn't go right. Again, we'll organize. Oh, we need to add the image. So we go ahead and add that image. Oops, I don't need that again. Like this. And one thing that we might want to do is also change the gallery type. So we can do either a strip slideshow, which is the whole thing, or we can go ahead and keep it to a regular slideshow. I kind of like the regular slideshow. It's a little cleaner, and so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and slide that into, and I'm looking to have it be as big as this, and you see it automatically resizes the image for you, and it lets you know when you're hitting that border on the side. So for right now, I'm going to leave that as such. I'm going to go ahead and save that, and then we're going to move on to what I consider to be the trickiest page, which is the resume. Again, resume, we can come in here, we can double click on this, change this to resume, Michael. Resize. We can come in here, we can change this information. And I'm going to go ahead and I have some pre-made information here. I'm going to go ahead and use this as an opportunity to put eligibility, whether SAG or not, and then I'm also going to put the how to contact him. So I'm going to go ahead and put this information in there. And you can put whatever other information you'd like. I happen to think that maybe, you know, expanding this, if you want to use a full width of this, you can, you know, drag and move things around as you see fit. I can go ahead, copy and paste these boxes, and go ahead and come in and edit this and say, okay, well, what do I want to do now? I'm going to go ahead and put in physical information that I have prepared ahead of time and drop that in. You can move it wherever I want. Maybe I want to line it up more with that. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to come over here. That's not Michael. So we're going to go ahead and change the image. And just going to pick one. Change it to that. Okay, so this is where we want to put our film information in. However, this is not what we're going to be using. So what you can do here is you can just go ahead and select these and all this content. You can select multiple content if you want and go ahead and delete it all out of there. You can do it one by one or hold the shift key down and get rid of everything. Okay, so what I want to do is, now that that's gone, is I'm going to go add, and I want to add a, if I scroll down here, I'm going to add apps, and I want to add HTML. So now that this box is here, I'm going to click it, I'm going to go to settings, I'm going to do this drop down, we're going to straight up inject HTML code in here. So I'm going to go back here, I've got this all ready to go, I've got this table, so I'm going to just select all of it. I'm going to copy that. I'm just going to paste it right in there. You can right click and select paste as well. And I'm going to go ahead and update this information. So right now, I'll close this so I can see it a little bit better. You can see there are scroll bars. Is something we don't want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drag this until I don't see scroll bars anymore. So again, it's something that you'll just drag and kind of get rid of it as you see fit. So those are gone, and so maybe I want to reposition it a little bit. Okay, so I'll let you work on that, but for right now you can see it's pretty clean. It's all lined up. Again, you can edit it as you see fit. Now here's the tricky part. What we need to do is this, unfortunately, and I'm going to go ahead and save this. If you look on the mobile site, it doesn't look that good. A couple things. You know, this information up top is okay. It's, you can see even here, this stuff doesn't look so great, so maybe you don't want it there. Maybe you'll find another way to finagle it and get it. But the nice part is that you can hide this information from the mobile. Now you can't create new content on the mobile part in this fashion, but you can hide content that's on the desktop, and that's kind of what we're going to do here. If you'll take a look here at the film, okay, this has all the scroll bars on it. Now that's not gonna fly. Somebody's on their mobile. It's very, very difficult to use a scroll bar on a mobile. So what we want to do is we want to change this into just plain text. So I'm going to go ahead over to the desktop area here again. And what we want to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to add a text box. And we're going to add a paragraph, okay? And it's going to show up right here. Okay, we're going to edit that text. Okay, edit it. I'm going to select all of it. Okay, and what I want to do is I want to come back into here. And then down at the bottom, we had our section where everything was just plain text. So I'm just going to scroll through that. Okay, and I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to come back over to here and paste it in here. Now, you'll see that it, doesn't look that good. So what we want to do is there's a couple things we need to do here. First thing is we have to reposition it, and then we are going to have to hide it. So how do we do that? First thing we're going to do is going to click out of here because we're done editing it. And when you click on something, if it selects this box, if I come over here, you'll see that it says overlapping items because there are. So you just make sure that the right one is selected. So right now we want this text box. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to scroll it up so that it just about matches up to here. Now what I want to do is I want to take a look at the bottom. See how far down it goes? So what I want to do with my my other box, the one with the table, is I want to select that and I want to drag it down as far, just a little bit further than the other text box. Okay, I want to make sure that this new text box that we made is completely inside of this table as far as an area goes, because what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to send it to the back. As soon as I send it backwards, okay, I won't be able to see it here. Now, I know you can see it on this section here, but again, there's a couple things that we can do to get rid of that, and I'll show you how to do that. So right now I'm going to go ahead and save this. Okay, we're going to preview it here, and you're going to see a couple things. One, okay, you're going to see that information shows up where it's not hidden. I'm going to show you how to get rid of that. It involves adding dead space to the end of your table. And so you can go ahead into your HTML code, and I'll add a bunch of blank spaces to the end, but it's just going to be adding a series of rows that don't have any content, and it'll create black space that is above that. So look for that information. I think I'll be able to have that for you just in your template, and so you won't have to really deal with this. This should be gone. I will make sure that you have plenty of height to deal with that. So don't worry about it as much. So what I want to do here, though, is I want to show you on the mobile how we get rid of it. So now that we're in the mobile and we're in the editing, you'll see that this film stuff is still here. I don't need that anymore, right? So I can go ahead, select it, and I can go ahead and delete it. And now that it's gone, all that's left is my text. So, I've successfully hidden that other, content, and I can go back and edit, and add it back in as I see fit. But again, I don't need it. So, I think I saw some other content that was hanging around here. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this content that was just sitting there, just to clean it up. Okay. So the rest of it looks okay. So like I said, once I add the padding here, this will just be blank space down to your footer, and that's okay. Again, not the easiest change, but this particular template that we're utilizing is just like that. If you use one of the other pages, you may not have to do that. Everything is optional. So let's get into the gallery. Pretty simple, and that's it. So I'm going to go to pages again. We're going to come down to the gallery. Okay, a couple things. This is just our header area for this, so we just want to go ahead and change the image. And so when we go into the gallery, we can see these are the two headshots that he has. So we'll just go ahead and select this one because we haven't used it yet. And then within production stills, we can click on that, change the image, and we'll just change it to one of our favorite ones. And I'm going to change it to this one. Okay. So this this page is pretty much set. Again, every time you go and select an image, you can go ahead and change the settings to it. You can change where it's linking to. You can put the title in. The alt text is when you hover over it, what it will say. So keep in mind that you should be changing all of this content, but for time's sake, we're not going to do that. Okay, so within that, there are two other pages. There's a headshot area, and then there's a production still area. And all we're going to have to do inside here is they've utilized the grid gallery. So when we click on this, all we have to do is organize the images. And, we can get rid of all of these again and add the images that we want. And we know that these are the only two headshots, so we're going to go ahead and add those two images. And again, here's the title, description, things that you'll want to change and update. Okay, so those are the headshots. And maybe this isn't, the gallery they want. Maybe you're going to want, but you can play around with changing the gallery type. You can, change it to a slideshow. You can do the accordion. I mean, there's, obviously there's a lot of different things for you to do. Now, keep in mind a couple things. Again, no one's really wowed by the web, so keep it simple. Make sure that it's not too much animation going on. It's just not interesting to people. Let me click on production still. So I'm going to come here again, click on it. We're going to organize the images. We're going to get rid of all of the ones that are within the template already. We're going to go ahead and add the images that we want. Okay, and here we're going to go ahead and select all the ones that are production stills. We're going to add those images. Again, selecting each one and changing the title. Going to hit done. Okay, and that's it. If you want to add other content to the page, that's fine, but this is what people are expecting, so you've given them that. So we go ahead, we can preview this, and when you click on it, you can see, you can go ahead and scroll through it. So we're going to go back to the editor, and the last thing that we have to do is change is this contact page. We're going to come to pages again, and we're going to scroll down. We're going to see there's the contact page. Okay, and again, we're just editing each of the pieces here. So we want to change the image that's there. We're going to change that. Real easy. Let's change it to that. Okay, contact me. Put in whatever text you want. We're going to text. Boom. Okay, put in the agent information. Again, you probably, if you have an agent, you're just going to be putting in the agent's contact information. You're probably not going to be putting your contact information in there. And as we said before, you're not going to ever want to put personal information in there. So be aware about putting in your personal email or anything like that, personal phone numbers. So I'm sure there's more information for my agent I can go ahead and put there. At the same time, this is a working form, and Wix will send you an email. So whatever email you signed up with, this form, when it gets filled out, will get sent. So you can go ahead and utilize this and allow somebody to be able to send you a message. And that's it. Once we save this, I can go ahead and move straight into publishing. And so when this is done saving, I'll show you that. Okay. So as soon as I click publishing, you want search engines to find your site, so keep that on. You should go in and edit all of your SEO settings. And again, that was here on the left-hand menu in settings, where you put the site title, the site description, keywords. This is all the metadata that Google's going to pick up. So you should be using your name. You should be using an actor. If there's a film that you're really well known for, that kind of information should be sitting inside of your keywords. Keep that in mind. So we're going to go ahead and publish this. And as soon as it says it's published, it tells you exactly what that URL is. And you can go ahead and click on that. It gives you the option to upgrade if you want to remove the ads, which is the stuff in the top right hand corner. But if I go ahead and click on that, I can see that this is live on the web. And I can go ahead and click through on the biography. I can click through on the resume, the gallery there. I can go into the production stills and take a look at those. All of this information is live right now on the web. So I know it took a little bit longer to explain it, and we've been sitting here for 40 minutes, but minus all of the ad-libbing along the way, you can pretty much get this up in 25-30 minutes if you have all of this information prepped ahead of time. And then after that, you can sit there and play around with a lot of the settings from SEO. You can get things published. You don't necessarily have to have all the SEO done when you are working on this. You can do that after you've published it. It's okay. And there are other ways to do that. So, for an example, you can go to the site. Let's try this. Google. Add URL. And when you come here, you can put in whatever your URL is. So in his case, his actual URL and when you do that, submits that to Google's crawler. So if you've made changes in content, if you've updated your SEO, you can go ahead and add this URL and it'll go ahead and refresh that information. Now, not perfect science as to when the crawler goes and picks it up, but it's always an option. So that's it. Again, if you have any questions, you can email me at nathan.brimmer@gmail.com. You can also get a hold of Dirk or anyone else at the New Mexico Film Foundation. And I thank you very much for your time and patience in getting this put together. And you'll be able to get content at www.nathanbrimmer.com/actor-tools, and that will have copies of the presentation. It'll have this video. It will have zips of the text documents that were used in this and the images, and we hope that it will get you a step closer to where you want to be with your acting career. So we wish you the very best of luck, and thanks for listening.